Hey, remember this? This is the triple layer Seijuen Elm. The one on the right is the first part or the top part, and then the next to that, and then the one behind it, it was the lower, and the one on the left is the base. I think I did this about 3 years ago, except for the base. We did that last year. Anyway, it's about time we got to the next step, putting more shapes on it. So I'm going to start with the top. Today is about a week after tax day. And what I've done so far, well, you know, these are deciduous, so they had lost their leaves. And what I've been doing is going like this. Because there is so much rapid growth that happened. But I thought today I'm going to do what's more correct. But a lot of times I do this because I just can't get to everything done perfectly. And it's better to do this method than not at all. So what we should actually be doing is doing like this, right? So that these branches get better defined. See, basically, all the ones that's going up gets removed, right? The thing that I can't do with the electric clipper is to get the bottom side. See? Just make these more distinct. Up on top, we're going to more or less crown it off. When I say crown it off, it's almost like making a little canopy type on top. And if you study most of your trees, that's what they do as they mature. They get rounded off. Initially, we come to a point. Okay. So now, by switching to this, we're kind of using it as a mini head shear. The first method with the small pointed one is more exact, but hey, these take forever if you have too many, right? So I'll have a lot of them, so I'm going to just kind of speed things along with the different hand shears, but you could see why I do this mechanical method. Okay, now these are not being perfected. We're just moving this along to the next stage, so we don't have to do everything absolutely perfect. Of course, some of you are one of those perfection people. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't have the time, and I keep a lot of the lower brushes, or I mean lower branches, so that it continue to fatten. So we got our movement, and we're working on the taper. It's a little questionable up here, but hey, like I said, this is not about perfection, but moving to the next stage. Okay, now there's clipping here and there. Well, it's okay. This will come right back anyway, so that's why I resort to electrical main. I wonder if I should just go ahead and take this off, right? Doesn't it look okay going like this and then without this? Well, we could just hold off. Okay, this is second from the top. And as we turn it around, I think this is the back side. So this is being the back side, or it could be the front. I'll go ahead and get started. So we'll go ahead and clip. You know, none of these has ever been touched by wire. That's kind of the way I've been doing it. And you could see that most everything could be done without using the wire. Now, I think you've seen me use a wire a few times where you really want to get the exactness. But I think most of this can be done. Well, one of the other bad things about using the wire with my method, especially with my mechanical pruning, yeah, it will tend to damage the blades if I had this wired and I happen to hit it. Now, when I'm out in the field pruning, you know, you notice that my nursery is usually watered by drip system. Well, the drip line feels just like a little branch, so I don't know how many times I've cut it. So just keep clipping and putting a rough shape on it so that you could see that there's a main trunk, and then these are becoming distinct branches. And that's what you want to do. Somebody want to start finishing this up in a bonsai container. It's actually ready. I will not do that because I like to make sure that I'm supplying different people with very workable material. And that's always been my goal here, is not to say I want to get a bunch of finished things, but to have enough things that are good that somebody could make it individual work of their own. Okay, this is one of my favorite things that I do. This is the drop branch. Take one and then make it go down. I don't know, I just like things like this. So this may or may not be the solution for many people, but at least I could do it like that. Now, if you don't like these drop branches, all I have to do is cut it off here and it becomes a normal branch. So yes, you don't have to do it this way, but I do like it. Try to find something that other people will not usually attempt, yet still within a margin of fairly good taste. Some of my solution, was questionable whether it was in good taste or not. Okay, so I'm going to call this one done for now and then move on to the others. Okay, this is the one that right next to the mother plant or the base. Let me turn it around so you can see what the other side looked like. Okay, I'm not sure which is the front. This side looks good too, but anyway, I'll go ahead and get started in the pruning. Now I got it turned around, and so if this was going to be more of a showpiece, I would switch tools and then take them out individually so I don't end up with these leaves that are cut. But this is all about getting to the next stage. Actually, this is almost at that point where somebody start to put a little extra effort in here. It's probably will make a really nice bonsai. because we have the thick trunk to start with, and then the movement and taper, all the features that I stress at almost every chapter. Sometimes people try to create movement with wire, which is fine, except that that method, very seldom do you get the taper that we want. So I think, well, at least on these elms, without the wire method is, I think, a lot better, and then you get to the finished solution, I think, faster. I've been saying this is all personal. Some people love the wire, some people wire without any rhyme or reason, and I noticed that it's not doing anything. But somehow, somewhere, somebody have convinced people that wiring is bonsai. No, wiring is one of the technique in bonsai. Don't necessarily have to do it. So you could see that it has a really good root flare. That lower branch is really going to help fatten that area. And then as we go up, probably the branch on the lower left could be removed in the future. And then the one on the upper left can get much bigger. Oh, it should be maybe 3 times that size, and then it will really be striking. So this is coming along. Probably in another year or two, it'd be really great. Okay, this was the original mother plant, where the 3 came off of this one. Yeah, it took off again. So anyway, let's get started on pruning these. Well, remember, this came out of a big training pot into this much smaller. And we did some very harsh things to this. And what I'm going to do is to do differently, because this one is, in terms of when I did it, a little bit less than the top 3. So I'm going to just clip these and not clean this out. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And why am I doing it this way? Well, because I want this root to recover fully. Remember, it came out of that big container and into this smaller one. And I figured it was going to be okay, but that's what you want to do, is make sure you give it enough time for it to recover. If you rush this thing and try to get to the next stage, you might do some permanent damage. At least you'll slow down the process. So I'm going to do this at the base right now because people want to see the trunk, or else I would have just left it. Those of you forgotten what I did, well, this is the one that was in the big container. I tried to get it here so that we could do a video, but I grabbed the apex and broke it, so it had to be restyled. So we got this big cut in here, right? And what I'm going to do is to let these grow very freely. What I wanted to do is, by having all these, this wound should start to heal better. So I'm going to let this go and then start to trim these so we could get this part shaped up as this is starting to recover. So this part here, like the others, kind of define the branches. This one a little bit less so because it's about a year or 2 years behind the other one in terms of development. But you can see roughly what I'm doing. So you gotta give your plants time to recover in between steps. Okay, I'm not sure. I think this might be the front, or this is the front. Either way, I'm gonna let this grow a little bit on the wild side, just so that we can get this big one to heal. And a lot of times, you know, people jump and try to move too fast. And I want to make sure that it has a really good chance of healing that wound. So this has been the update of a triple air layered Seijuen elm. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter, and I'll show you the progress on these, because this seems like people are interested in seeing how these develop over time. And that's what bonsai is all about. It's about time that you have to spend. Okay, so this is Hiro saying goodbye and thank you for all you new subscribers and the old ones that keep watching me. Okay, see you again. Bye.